Do you like genius design? Do you like something with some individuality? Would you like something which is also affordable with a great specification? That's what I'm literally sharing with you today. Let's have a closer look at this amazing watch from Sherwood Watches. You don't have to be from Nottinghamshire to like this watch. That's the first thing I was worried about. On its own right, this watch is incredible value for money and is beautifully built. And there's some really fun design elements, which I'm going to share with you right now. Let's have a closer look. Sherwood Watches. I'm going to tell you about them in a minute, but you've got to bear with me. This is the Commander. If you don't care anything about Robin Hood, you don't care about Nottinghamshire, you don't care about British design, you don't care about Sherwood Forest, you don't care about any of those things, this watch has a lot to offer, which I'm going to tell you about now, even if you don't care about all that stuff. Because there's a worry, people go, this is a very niche watch, it's a passion project, made by someone called Glynn. There's a lot of cool stuff about the area which he's incorporated into a watch. The worry is that too niche? The answer to that is yes and no. Objectively, this is an extremely good watch. Subjectively, it's got some very cool design features, which you may not care about unless you are interested in folklore and Robin Hood and arrows and forests and trees. But you know what? I think you're going to care after you find out a bit more about the watch and how it's so fun that someone's incorporated those into the design of this watch. So what are you getting for your £395? Well, you're getting a watch where there's three options to choose from. This one, green, you've got black and blue. This one has C3 Lume, which is green. The other two have blue Lume. This one sized up to me for my 7¼ inch wrist is 150 grams. Size-wise, it's actually a very nice, very practical for many wrist size of 39.8mm case size. Length is 47.3. Height, including this double dome sapphire crystal, is 12.2. 20mm lug width for strap changes if you want to change it out. Movement inside is a Miyota 9039, which is a lovely higher beat movement. Smoother, sweet 6.5mm crown, 200 meters water resistance, ceramic bezel insert, which is also lumed, 120 clicks unidirectional. The dial size, including the rehaut under the glass, is 32mm. Bezel is only 3mm wide, very clever, very dinky. Crown is signed, very pretty. It's got the arrow on there, the arrow tip. Case back, screw down to aid for that water resistance. You can see there it's got a major oak. This is where a bit of fun stuff comes in. The major oak basically is an enormous and very old tree, nearly 1,000 years old. In Sherwood Forest, 11-meter trunk diameter. The canopy is 28 meters, and the historic character, which we don't know for absolute certainty ever existed, was called Robin Hood, effectively a thief that used to steal from the rich to feed the poor many hundreds of years ago, and his gang apparently used to chill out under said tree. Lovely bit of folklore for that area. Robin Hood, one of his many famous attributes was he was a master at firing arrows basically, and that's where we've got some design elements incorporated into this watch. I love the green one because I think it's the colour of forests. Equally cool if you go for blue or black, but for me green is best for this. The bracelet is a mixture of brushed and polished with screw pins, mil class, 3 micro adjust, no quick easy adjust on here at all. Lovely detailing on the clasp as well, the Sherwood logo. The beautiful design features, one I think this watch is so lovely is, considering Robin Hood and bows and arrows and things like that, look at the logo. Sherwood, the D is a bow and arrow. The second hand is completely an arrow. You see the feathers at the end, and then the tip, this gorgeous green colour, contrasting lovely with the green of the dial and the ceramic insert. The colour of the green tip of this arrow, it's the same as the word automatic, and 200 meters here down just above the 6 o'clock. British design. Another thing I love about this watch is it's been the brainchild of a British guy called Glynn from this area, and he's done a wondrous thing at doing some clever details, such as even the 12 o'clock marker here is an upside down arrowhead, and that is incorporated as well into the crown. And then you've obviously got the major oak on the case back. These are lovely design features. But I'm going to show you another one which I think was really clever, which he shared with me. He wanted this bezel insert to be more elegant, simple, no numbers on it, but still have up to 20 minutes worth of counting markers on here. 120 click unidirectional. He says if you click it around here, it looks like a canopy of a tree in my opinion. And it adds some symmetry to the dial. So you've got crescent loomed ceramic insert at the top, and then everything's down the middle of the watch. No date complication. It's a fun way of using the bezel when you're not using it for timing. Just set it where you like it. You can have it down here at the bottom if you wanted to. Whatever takes your fancy. It just adds symmetry. But I like the fact he's called it a dress diver because it's got all these polished elements, which I think are beautiful and really add some elegance to the watch. And it still has some brushed elements which give it that toolish charm. So you can use this as a beater, as a day-to-day watch, as something you can wear to the office or to weddings, or just on the beach, or if you're rambling through the forest. It's got that versatility. That's what makes more premium watches special, is if you've got that versatility. It doesn't look too tallish, it doesn't look too dressy. It's still got those functional elements without being too blingy. But speaking of bling, I wouldn't mind it a bit less bling, because I'm not a fan of polished case sides too much, even though I've had many watches with polished case sides. I do find they mark up and scratch easily. but polished elements do help a watch look really classy and very beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, I need to show you this Lume because this is just spectacular. The C3 on this thing is sensational. It glows like a torch, as you can see. It's ridiculous, look at that. And it lasts an extremely long time. It is very good. Some of the best Lume I've seen on a watch, especially at £400. It is extremely good. So if you love your Lume, like I do, you can't go wrong. Well, I've still got you. Why don't you click on the old subscribe button? Guess what? It's free. And you help the channel grow. People like Sherwood can contact me and say, oh, please review my watch, and I'll happily share it with you guys. So what can I criticise about this watch? Not a huge amount. I've said I don't like the polish elements too much, but it does add to the classiness. I don't like the name of the commander because that's a bit more to do with James Bond, and this is more to do with Robin Hood, in my opinion, and Sherwood Forest. I think it would have been cooler if it had more folklore names, like this was called the Robin Hood, I don't know, or the Little John. Maybe that was thought of, but I think Commander is a bit of a contrast. I get why someone like James Bond would wear a watch like this, but I think it's two different brands, if you know what I mean. Stick with one, like you have done really well with the design of this watch, and carry on with it. Wouldn't have minded for your nearly £400 to have a quick adjust on the clasp and maybe one more hole if you're not going to have it. Just to enable a little bit more flexibility for comfort. I did get this to fit me comfortably, but it required a bit of fiddling about. I think the logo is a bit too large in my opinion, but I like how well it's been executed. But the thing that's clever, moving to the positives, is this 3mm bezel insert. What it's enabled is an extremely large dial. Normally on a dive watch, this case size, you're looking at 28mm dial size, but this has got 32, so that extra 4mm, which in the watch world is a lot, enables you to have far brighter, bigger, clearer, bolder dial with larger indices and space for the fantastic logo. Very clever, and enables this watch to be extremely legible. It looks like a bigger watch, but wears like a smaller watch because of that lovely bigger dial, and that's very clever. So these are all lovely details. Combined with the excellent specification, it is extremely impressive how well executed this watch has been. And I think if you want something a bit quirky, a bit different, and you don't have to, honestly don't have to care about Sherwood Forest or anything like that. Just as a brand name, it's good. It's linked to the designer of this watch and the brand owner. Go check out the website, maybe support some British micro brands and think about getting one of these. Wouldn't mind if you supported the channel as well. Just as a reminder, click the old subscribe button. It's totally free, helps the channel grow, and you get to see me some more. You see some more interesting watches like this one. Thanks so much for checking me out, guys, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.